is, do y'all think the BMI should be updated, or at least be to a standards where you would think that even though this person, because women got more body fat than men, it's just like, is that really a healthy? Is there a way you can update it to where like every sort of race can like feel comfortable with it?
It's the cozy way. It's the cozy way. That's all. It's a cozy way.
But were girls like in shape, or did they have some pudge, hugs, and stuff on them?
It depends. It's like I'm not gonna lie. There are some girls that I can say, okay, yeah, you a little thick. I can see you failing, but there's some girls that just they're like thick but in shape. You know what I'm saying? Like
because
what's the perfect example? Bria Miles, like Bria Miles. They kind of look like Bria Miles, but they'll fail, or they'll fail the journey. Or I think like if Serena Williams would have took a BMI, she would probably fail or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Right. No, she would fail. She would fail. Like even in her best shape, she would have still failed.
Yeah.
Thing or the fact that BMI is not.
Body mass index. So it's like it takes your neck, your waist, and your hip size, and then they like add them all together and then divide it, and that's how they create exactly if you're going to be like considered to be skinny, like fit, or like obese or fat,
But we're not, it's like talking about that the BMI different for each ethnicity, right?
No, they consider all as one. So I don't know what person they used to create the focal point of it, but it definitely wasn't these thick girls now.
The skinny white bitch.
Ray, do you think Bria Miles will fail today?
Now, no, because she's still thick, but she's like slim thick, and but even like when she was thicker, I thought she was in great shape. She was perfect a little thicker
back then. Yeah.
But so the scary thing about it is if they upgrade it and make it a little bit more bigger, would that mean the world would get a little bit more fatter? So it's like,
I mean, the world
is getting fatter every day, though.
Yeah, and that's what
get fatter every day.
Yeah, but some people like, they have that standard, like, okay, they have to meet this number right here. So like, it would have to be like for a black person, we would have to have like a 27-inch waist, a 41-inch like, the ass size has to be 41 inches. The waist has to be 27. Like your neck has to be like 12 or 13
to make it like at the word neck.
So like, but imagine like, if you say, okay, the person can have like a 32-inch waist, if the waist goes up, the ass has to go up, the hips have to go up too. So it'll probably be like a 47, 48. The neck might be a 13. But if you keep bringing it up, like, some people like they look at these numbers and that's like, where they go to like, stay fit and stuff. But like if you bring up the numbers, some people, then the waist is gonna start getting bigger and bigger, and then pretty soon it's gonna be a 40-inch waist.
Or when you're in the Navy, you have to maintain purpose.
Oh no, you're cutting.
Yeah, you cutting out. So I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah.
How I sound now?
Much better.
Better, yeah.
I was saying when you're in the military, when you're in, the Navy, the Marines, whatever, in order to be one of those special ops soldiers, one of those, the ones who go out in the water, the ones who do jumping out the airplane and stuff, you do have to be a certain weight.
Well, because you don't want to drag somebody else down before they put a parachute. You're going
no,
to
and this is for Ray too, because Ray, you should know this. Like, you can't be overweight doing field stuff, really.
Nah, they do be.
No, you can't.
There's
some fat chiefs though. There's some fat ass chiefs.
They be
but
overweight.
I get what you're saying. The SEAL candidates and the people, the divers. Oh no, they're in impeccable shape, but they work out every day.
Lies.
And that's what I'm talking about. Because I don't ever see. No, you don't see no fat person who's really like Navy SEALs, like who's breaking in from the water. And in a wartime, you don't see nobody fat. They might be big and muscular and like
but that's
big legs, but no one's
They have to
fat.
get waived. Like that's still technically considered fat. When you look at the BMI standards, their numbers are still technically considered fat.
Well, that's
like
because
even with
it's
their
muscle, and they will know that. I think it will change them because they know it's muscle.
Yeah.
At that time,
if they doing it based on like every type of fat, then yeah, they're gonna fail it. But like if they're talking about separating between fat and muscle, then that's different.
Yeah.
I know they
Because
have.
those
To,
people,
I know there
those
has
people
to be
who
a
doing that,
I
right?
just feel like there has to be a difference because obviously there are men who are built like hell in the Navy and in the military, and there's skinny ass boys in there and all the other stuff. Like I know there has to be cutting something. Like I know someone's doing something and saying, okay, well he's this because clearly he's big and muscular. But I don't know, like, because my father's military, and I just know when he was younger and he was doing all that stuff, jumping from the planes and all the extra, he said none of them was out of shape. He said they all was in shape. And he showed me pictures with him and and the guys he would do stuff with, and they were all in shape. And this is in the 80s.
The other thing too is that you got to look at the equipment itself, right? Like you can't have like equipment going off out of pocket because somebody is overweight. Like they need people at a certain regimen. You already in there working out anyway, so you shouldn't even be looking like that about to do all this stuff anyway.
Right. That's like firefighters. Firefighters, like some of them might be real thick, but they're not like fat though. They just have muscle underneath some of it, but they're not fat because that fucking fire suit and then the damn hammer, the axe, and then the tank, oxygen tank. You know how heavy that shit is?
And then you gotta remember too,
I
you know
knew
how
a-
fast the people gotta put that on? If you
I
can't
knew a
move,
diving chief, and a second class. They could outrun for days. They could swim for days. They could, they do the whole, the whole working out and everything else. It was just they were technically considered big when they went to go to their exam. So they had to literally get a waiver to get medically thrown in the word so they can do a full BMI. Because like if you go by the standards of what is written on the paper, like if you lift weights and if you work out so you can be carrying heavy stuff, you would not pass a lot of those standards, even if you're like what you consider to be physically fit.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know that. That's weird.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I've seen a lot of women that they're not fat nor they're sloppy. Yeah, they're a little thick, but they're not fat. Like nothing's out of place and all that stuff. I've seen them fail. I seen some girls. They're not fat. They're big breasted. I've seen them fail because women carry more fat than men. But there's
some guys who's kind of sloppy and pass, and some guys who be in that gym looking like they take steroids and lifting up 20, 30 plates, and they can't pass. Like but they're fit. It's just certain body types. Like they just if you're like stronghold. Some people are just fat, like they look sloppy, but they're really like not cutting weight. Some people are fat and cutting weight, so it's just like these standards is weird because if you change the standards to say okay, people like guys who lift weights, this would be their BMI because they have bigger arms, their chest is a lot more like stronger, their waist is they got the packs and everything, and then they got like massive thighs or whatever, then it'll probably be okay. But so if you tell me the standards is for like a skinny toothpick, bro, that's not gonna work.
But then that's a weird thing to do anyway. It's weird to build a system around that because there are people that are just naturally built. Samoans, for example, are built as hell. You know what I'm saying? They have a very good
It's about drive. It's about power. We stay hungry.
Their genetics is actually really good. So
they be water.
So are we to say that those people are overweight just because the BMI said they're above a certain weight? I think that would be unfair to say because these.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Father, and I'll let you get back to your point. I know a couple Samoans on the Truman, and like you said, they're in shape, but they usually fail. A couple of them were Samoans and all that stuff, but they can outrun a lot of people and they can outdo a lot of people.
So we seen some people who think they was gonna be
in a sprint or long distance?
Long distance. They run on treadmills like 10 miles. Like a lot of them, like the thing is the way they stand, like a lot of them you see, you probably think, oh, they can't come through, they can't fit through a hatch, like a little small circle or something. Like they can fit through it. But the problem is they're just built wide. And so the standards to what when you look at it, it looks like a normal, regular human being that's like, yeah, that probably runs long distance, don't lift weights, just, like normal. But when you deviate between everybody type, race and everything like that, it's certain bodies that just don't fit the norm for the BMI. But it's like, if you change it, what will the new world look like?
Before I speak, was Dion saying something?
Yeah. I was just saying, like, basically, in short, something needs to be done to include like all these different body types. I actually knew this one female Marine. She was short and thick. She didn't even have like a stomach or nothing. She was just short and like real, real thick around, ass size, whatever. And like she had the same problems stated here. She wasn't necessarily fat, but that BMI test got her every time.
And it gets a lot of women. I used to feel sorry for the women when they fail.
Well, body mass. Sorry.
Go ahead, Crystal. I've
been doing that all night. Y'all can beat me up. Y'all can jump me. Anyway, the body mass index, though, it doesn't really show the difference between the muscle and the fat. So it doesn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It definitely doesn't. It does not.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. It doesn't accurately predict when the weight can lead like to health problems. Or right. I feel like America alone is behind. It's people that I've worked in the medical field that they've been diagnosed with so many different things and their weight doesn't match their BMI that we've been either taken by calculator or by... Sorry, I don't know why the echo's there. Okay.
It happens.
I don't know why it doesn't match what we have in the computer system. And then, bam, they have blood clots and other stuff.
That is a good point. I said, I don't know. I know there's a world. My opinion is, I feel like you should include muscle, or at least something in